Decor.
Yeah, that's fancy.
Welcome to Higher Thought. We're just walking in the door.
Dang, dang.
That Lafayette traffic, man, I tell you what, I left my house at like 5:10. And
Yeah, but you live all the way in Youngsville, though.
I do live in Youngsville. But yeah, how about this new setup that we got, huh?
Pretty nice. I'm liking
I like
it.
the decor, Jacob.
Pleased to hear it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
what?
The decor.
Decor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've
Very
been
fancy.
working on possibly like getting some type of visual, live picture.
I would like that.
Yeah, but
People
that
like
takes
visual. It does take a lot of effort. Too much effort, then I'm
Oh wait, that was if y'all didn't show up.
able to put.
Stay tuned for Higher Thought. Oh, Jacob was ready for us to be running late, but no, we got here right on
Just in time.
Right
4
on
seconds
time.
left.
Well, welcome to another edition of Higher Thought, the second episode of season 2.
Yep.
With Nade and Holly. Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yep.
We were talking the other day about how, I'm Nade. Not necessarily Nick. I am Nick, of course.
Yeah.
But
I
on
always
the
call
show,
you
I'm
Nade.
Nade.
Yeah.
So, maybe, should we, develop a alternate ego or another persona for you?
Maybe. I
I
mean,
don't
it's
know,
been
man.
Holly a couple of weeks, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll think of something. What do y'all think? I
Hall
should be?
Beef,
Hall
so if
Beef?
you have some suggestions for Holly's nickname.
Farrah.
Yeah.
I know I called in and I was Tenacious T one time.
Tenacious T. I like that. I like
That was
that.
my secret call-in name.
We all, you were talking also about being Holly Parton.
Holly
for,
Parton for Halloween.
you know.
You came up with that genius idea.
Yeah, I mean,
It's really good though. It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
good.
So we've got an action-packed show for you tonight. Thank you, Jacob. And we're toting beverages, and we're good to go. I guess my beverage is going to be on screen because, right there off screen is off
Red
the table.
Bull. Yummy.
Red Bull gives you wings, right?
Supposedly.
Yeah, well, wings are always good for
Definitely.
times like
For higher
this.
thought wings are good.
For higher thought.
Oh, listen to that. Okay.
So, if you want to get in on the action, the number is on the screen, 337-366-8950. I'm going to be prompted to press that little 2 button. Yeah.
Call in.
Yeah.
I know some people are watching.
The ringer is
Call
up.
in.
The ringer's up, so give us a call. So, let's see. We've got some headlines from the news, I suppose, to talk about. We've got some cool little lists on how you could be a better person. We've got some stuff to debate about.
Absolutely. Got lots of stuff going on today.
It's a good show, as always. With 2 rock star hosts.
Go ahead.
And we're gonna do it big this week. We're gonna do it big. So I saw kind of in the headlines earlier on about OJ. What were you saying the headline was?
OJ this morning got parole, was granted parole, and he should be, I think, in between
October,
now
I
and
think it
October
was.
1st.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
should be let out by October 1st.
There we go.
Yeah.
The parole release OJ from prison in October. The
Uh,
juice.
Yep, the juice is loose.
The juice is loose.
So, and he's in prison now. He's serving a sentence for holding up the guy who he said stole his memorabilia. or
Right, he's
whatever.
not in jail for murder.
Yeah.
He's in
He's
jail
not.
for, I think, somebody bought his stuff
Yeah.
off of an auction website, and OJ was like, "Well, it's my
That's
stuff."
my stuff. So let me go put a gun to your head and demand it back.
So we'll see how long OJ can last without getting in trouble again.
but this guy legitimately bought it, right? How was he able to buy it? Who put it up for sale? Was it OJ's estate because he had I don't really know the whole backstory behind it.
Yeah,
I
me
don't
neither.
guess.
Or if it was just I don't know, at a memorabilia shop and somebody bought it,
Yeah.
and OJ was like, "Well, I signed that 20 years ago, so it's mine."
Jesus.
So I'm not sure. He's in jail.
Yeah.
He's been in jail for a while.
For a while,
so
yeah.
Apparently, he
There was a
wasn't
whole
in-
documentary about it, on Netflix or something, or Hulu or Amazon or something, about him serving his prison term now.
Well, America's always had a fascination with OJ.
Absolutely.
From the time he was in college and won the Heisman Trophy, played in the NFL. To being a sports broadcaster, and then the whole murder. I mean, everybody
He was also a
remembers
movie star,
what
right?
they were doing. Yeah, Naked Gun. One of the classics. So
I was young whenever the whole the trial of the century. What was that? 95-ish, 96, somewhere around there. So I mean, I remember my mom would put that on TV and watch it all day long. Just the court
Everybody
proceedings.
was watching the white Ford Bronco.
8 months, yeah, the white Ford Bronco. Yep. So, I don't know, but he's getting out, so good for him, I guess.
The juice is loose. Yeah. So I wonder if he's still tight with the Kardashians. You know,
Oh my
he
God.
can maybe get his own
He could
reality
get on
TV
their
show.
reality show.
Yeah, and get some more juice in our life.
Where's the Robert Kardashian? Where's he at? He doesn't even go on that show, right? Because they're not even.
Because it's retarded.
Yeah, it is retarded.
And he's got better things to do with his time, maybe.
He's
I
a
don't know.
lawyer and all.
Yeah, and I don't think he goes on the Caitlyn Jenner show.
Oh my God.
Either, you know, because she's got her show too, doesn't she?
I don't know.
I don't watch
She
these
shouldn't.
things. I haven't had
She
cable for a
shouldn't.
while, so.
Yeah, me neither.
Another headlining topic: Chester Bennington, Linkin Park singer, is dead.
Whoa!
Yeah, same as Chris Cornell, ended up
Really?
hanging himself. So, man,
this was today. Like this happened today.
It was in the
Oh
headlines
my
today.
God! I did not know that.
So all these singers are dropping like flies.
Sure are. Prince, Michael
Prince,
Jackson,
Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell.
Yeah, no.
What's the guy's name? I didn't even know his name.
Chester Bennington.
Chester.
I've become so numb.
Somehow that name just fits that dude. I don't
He really
know.
has
Chester
become numb, though.
Bennington. Yeah, you know what? Never really was a fan of Linkin Park. Not
And
really.
you know, I always thought Linkin Park was pretty decent, other than Chester.
Than him.
Bennington. You know, I mean, like the other singer
Yeah, the
that like
music
rapped
was
a
okay.
little
Yeah,
bit was
the
okay.
rapping singer was alright.
You know, I mean, I guess like it was relatively similar to Spoon-Fed, you know,
Yeah.
to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You know, much more commercial and cheesier version, of course, on their end. But they had like some really cool DJs.
They did, and they were kind of one of the first bands that did that, right? Incubus, and then
rap rock.
Yeah, that
kinda
whole hybrid,
phase.
which is cool. You know, just Chester Bennington.
But
sorry,
interesting
dead.
that he hung himself like Chris
Like Chris
Cornell.
Cornell.
You know, interesting. I read an article saying that Chris Cornell had been working to take out this like child sex slavery
Yeah.
kind of thing, and so maybe he was taken out for that reason. And it makes me curious
Was
if
Chester
Chester
Bennington
Bennington
in
was
on that?
working on something like that and like trying to take out one of these child sex rings, and you know possibly he
something.
committed suicide for that reason. So you know, I guess like maybe
Like
this,
at his home, he was at his house, and they found him.
yeah, pretty much. I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, I guess it's almost like the '70s again, where like the CIA is just offing these
Taking
celebrities
people out.
and just
Taking
like
people out.
yeah, taking people out. And,
Because these people have a platform, and people listen to them. They have built-in followers, so whenever they have something to say, people
it's
listen.
a
And so they got
suicide. Oh, they got in a
take
wreck.
them out.
Oh.
Hopefully they don't take us out, Nate.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think we're important enough, really. We probably haven't, like,
We're
made a
not. Well,
blip
we
on the
are.
radar yet, you know? Like, they probably know who we are and everything, but, like, oh, nobody watches their show. It's all
Fine.
good. Yeah, it's all fine.
Platform, no.
So, but yeah, we got a little crazy last week, didn't we? We had a fun time on the show. And,
Yes,
you know,
we
so-
ended with some interesting topics. And
Yeah.
lists.
So, like, if there's any students or, you know,
Sorry.
like, or bosses or relatives that, you know, were offended
Please.
by anything we said, you know, we're just having a good time.
having a good time.
Trying to make entertaining television.
Yeah.
So, you
And
know,
it was
you can get with the
entertaining.
joke. And plus,
To me.
it's just like your Facebook page. You can scroll on by. You can change the channel.
Absolutely.
You know, you
Yes.
don't have to watch us.
Yeah, and people get too offended by stuff anyways. Like, don't if you're getting offended by something, just move on. Exactly. Like scroll through the Facebook. Don't
If your
read
butt
the
hurt,
post.
use some Boudreaux's butt paste. You know, I mean, don't get mad at us.
It soothes the burn.
It really does soothe the burn. You know, and that's the only mention of butts for the night.
Okay.
And that's for you.
I don't know
Lady
if I
D.
believe you on that one, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. Also, George Romero, the writer-director of Day of the Dead, is also dead.
Day of the Dead
Or
or
Dawn
Night
of
of the
the-
Living
Night
Dead.
of the Living Dead. Yeah.
The old one,
Yeah,
the black
yeah.
and white one. So he's dead. I figured he would have been dead already. That
Well,
movie
he's
is old.
still living.
The movie is really like right. When was that movie made? The 60s.
I'm not the expert on this one. You know, I've got several friends and, you know, lady friends that were experts on the topic. So, if they
All
want to
right.
call in and maybe, tell us a little more, then hey,
Y'all should.
exactly.
Maybe friends who know about this.
Maybe some friends who know about George Romero that can tell us a little more, so.
Or maybe friends who are just watching and want to call in
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
So I guess to kind of finish through some of these headlines and we can maybe get to some debate, how about Republicans losing the health care bill? They had about 4 GOP people that voted against it, and so they ended up losing. And so
Yeah, I figured that was going to happen, though.
yeah.
So losing the health care bill, what was their... What were they want? They were trying to reform
They
it.
want to replace Obamacare, I
Right.
suppose. And
And their replacement wasn't good.
I guess it wasn't that great,
Yeah.
but it's just party politics. They vote with their party, but they had 4 people that kind of went.
I figured
rogue.
that was going to happen.
And I mean, I'm sure it probably benefits them in some way politically. They're saying they're doing it for their constituents, but
No, they're getting a little kickback from
yeah,
somebody.
most likely.
Somebody whipped those votes out of
So
them.
it's like the Paul Ryan, and
Paul Ryan voted against it.
I believe so.
Speaker of the House, right? Or no,
Ron Paul, maybe.
What is he?
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul. Yeah, he's a libertarian, right? He's kind of just a
Yes.
Republican in
Just
name
by-
only.
Right.
He's a
Just because you gotta
libertarian.
be like the 2-party system, and like
Just
nobody
total
cares about
BS.
the 3rd party.
Yeah.
Or any other party for that matter. So yeah, I mean, I guess like it is what it is, I personally don't think the government should be running our healthcare system, and it's kind of a big ripoff.
Yeah. I know my premiums have gone up
Yep.
greatly since this whole thing. So, I mean, it's expensive just for me to have insurance. So.
Well, and it's like the insurance companies forcing everybody to do this insurance thing, and not everybody necessarily needs it, and it's like these prices are hiking up, and they're making a killing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I think people need health insurance, because you never know what's going to happen. A freaking act of God, you could get in a car accident, you could get diagnosed with cancer and
Sure.
never smoke a cigarette a day in your life, whatever. So people need health insurance, but just not.
But everybody gets free health, or half the society gets free health insurance. So like our premiums go up because
Right.
everybody's got to have it, and so we got to pay for it. You
Yep,
know, somebody's got to
absolutely.
pay for it.
Yeah, and I'm getting to where I can't afford it. So, and there's a lot of teachers in my school system that have opted out of it because it's too damn expensive.
Yeah, and you can probably go get your own in some kind of way.
A lot of them go on the exchange to get it.
But I kind of find it's one of those things you get what you pay for, you
Yeah.
know, and like you end up having to pay like a certain deductible and like end up paying thousands before
Thousands of
like you even
dollars
get
in
any kind of
deductible.
benefits.
Yep.
You know, so
Sometimes people don't even meet that deductible.
and I find like where a lot of people said like George Bush Jr. was like big oil, he was the oil president, and I really do think President Obama was the big pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
Like in the insurance industry, he really helped them out to
Absolutely.
a large degree. I'm curious to see, who it is. I mean, it seems as though I guess Trump just really helps out corporations.
Absolutely. That's who
as
he
a whole.
is. That's
Yeah, I
who
mean,
he
he's a
is.
corporate tool,
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I guess that's our president. Speaking of politics, Betsy DeVos, the Department of Education, she appeased the liberal Congress, I suppose, as more local control for schools. You should be able to have a school of choice. So what do you think about more local control in the education system?
I think it's
And-
great. That's where it needs to be. There's people in a certain community, whether it's parents or students or teachers. Everybody is tapped into the education system at some way or another. And to have control locally, people know their community, people know their students, people know what they need, people know
Surely.
their demographics. So
And plus, the jobs that you have locally are different depending on the region you live in.
absolutely.
I mean,
so
like
it could be more streamlined as to like here in Louisiana, more oil field,
more
options,
mechanical type stuff, welding, but just because that's where a lot of the jobs are around here, so I guess you can kind of educate people to what you need in that area.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could see where local control could have its drawbacks too, because there are some communities who maybe can't, or education isn't the top of their priority list, and then the education system goes to crap in that in that area, but it's definitely needed. What really needs to happen is more teacher control, more teacher input. I don't think that happens hardly.
I agree with you on that, and I mean, like, I think that it is a good thing to like get kids along a certain pathway based on their career interests. But however, do you think it makes it harder for like when somebody wants to maybe change their mind as far as what they want to do in life? Because like I know most certainly as a teenage kid, I did not know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
I wanted to be a singer and a photographer.
Right.
It's more dreams rather than actual realistic goals that people can set for themselves.
And they should have realistic goals along with their dreams.
Absolutely, because dreams are important. That gives your life purpose. But what was the question? Would you ask me?
Well, does it make it more dangerous, like when putting kids along a certain pathway for the person to change their path?
I don't think so.
Because you got to backtrack and retrain in other areas.
Maybe, but I mean, it's high school though,
Sure.
So I mean, you have the core subjects that you have to take and that you have to pass, you have to do well in. And then, you have the little, side tracks that you can take, whether it's auto mechanic or welding or cosmetology. I think
certain career fields that you can work towards.
If anything, it gives kids can at least know what they don't want to do, and can go into a lot of these programs offer dual enrollment where you can take college courses while you're in high school, and that helps too,
Sure.
cutting down the cost of colleges. So
the more we educate kids about their future and how to plan for their future properly, I think is the more beneficial to society they can get.
Absolutely, and I will say that there's not enough of that in school. A lot of abstract thinking, but it's not really kids don't see how it applies to them outside of the classroom, and as a teacher that's really hard to overcome.
Sure.
So there needs to be more of that.
And a lot of people are unprepared for the real world.
Absolutely.
And that kind of segues us right into this list that we have. Bill Gates recently spoke to a high school, I think it was a couple years ago actually, but he gave out 11 rules for adulthood. That kids should know, that they don't necessarily get from high school. Yeah, the richest person in America.
Right.
Bill Gates.
What you got to tell me, Bill?
All right, so number 1, life is not fair, and get used to it,
They need to know. Kids need to know that.
Right.
I still need to be reminded of that on a daily basis. Life is not fair. You're gonna get screwed.
Yeah, that's just the way the world works, So
Absolutely.
it's just
not everybody is on your side.
You might think you deserve a D or a C, but no, you got the F. Sorry. It is what it is. Life's not fair. Number 2, the world does not care about your self-esteem. In the real world, you have to accomplish something first to feel good about yourself.
For people to notice and for people to care about you, besides your family and your friends, yeah.
Well, and a lot of education system really coddles to these kids and we got to build your self-worth. Well, if you're not doing anything and you why should you feel self-worth?
Where's your worth?
All right, we got a caller. Let's see who we got.
Hey there.
Hello, welcome to Higher Thought.
Hello.
Hey, my name is Christopher. I'm calling from Lafayette.
Hey, Christopher.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing okay. I kind of have a comment to Ms. Holly's statement about local education, giving it to locals. I think that the vocational program that was once available to kids in high school is an asset to further education. There's no more shop. There's no more free enterprise typing. There's no more of these classes available for these kids because of the way the education system is set up in Lafayette. And I just wanted your take on that.
So there's no more typing classes, no more classes that teach these kids real life skills. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. There's not. I know in the school that I teach at, I don't teach in Lafayette schools, but the school that I teach in,
or at least there's not a lot of importance placed upon those classes.
Yeah.
It's mainly just your classes that are end of course testing classes
right,
that they make a big deal about.
Ultimately, Chris, schools want to tread lightly, tread lightly. Schools want to bump up their score in areas that is going to make a difference for them, you know, because everything is about the numbers now. So typing does not even, it's not even on the radar as far as
writing
school
cursive.
score goes. Writing cursive.
Well, whatever happened to auto mechanics? Whatever happened to
They do.
workshop?
They
Whatever
are.
happened to
They still
all of
have
these
that.
other vocations that could, you know, start the training for these young individuals so they can decide what direction they want to go.
Absolutely.
And I think the fact that Louisiana ranks in the bottom in education consistently every year, nothing is working. I mean, what do we do for these kids?
God, from a teacher's perspective, Chris, I don't know. I go in every day and try to teach the kids to the best of my ability. But you're right. We need to. There needs to be more focus on what happens outside of high school. You know.
Well, and if you don't mind me chiming in, Christopher, like I'm also a teacher as well, and I actually teach a career preparation class where, you know, we essentially match their personalities to certain careers.
Which is
a
great.
lot of these kids, you know, aren't necessarily college material, maybe technical college, you know, but they're more your bodily kinesthetic type of learners, and they're hands-on, better working with tools and moving around, working outside. And so, you know, I mean, you definitely have to gear the education toward the certain individual. But there are classes like that. And I think, you know, the governor recently placed a big stress on that as far as, you know, getting these kids on their pathways to where, like, you know, if they aren't going to be going to college, well, then they need to be learning a trade, for instance.
In the state of Louisiana, you have two main graduation tracks in high school. You have the TOPS track, TOPS University track, which kind of preps you for college. And we can talk about whether that does a good job or not. But then also there's a career track, and you do have the opportunity to go. It may not be
And it's
offered.
auto mechanics, welding, you know.
It may not be offered in the school, but it is offered.
Cosmetology. They have several different programs, and you can get a licensure and be able to get a job once you're out of high school.
But it would be great to have high schools maybe even set up. What do you call it? I'm gonna draw a blank here. The people who don't get paid for a job. What is that? An internship program.
Yeah.
So that way you're not just limited to auto mechanic and cosmetology, and I know there's nursing too. You know, the kids can kind of delve
But they're
into all
working
kind of
toward
stuff.
that because kids are basically almost able to graduate, you know, by their junior year now at this
Absolutely.
point.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean,
If
and
they
that
put
would
in the
be
work.
beneficial if they could do some type of social work, you know, like whether it be like the Peace Corps, go travel abroad, or,
Absolutely.
you know, and like have a year of real life learning, you know, before you maybe go to college. And and there has been talks
gap
of that,
year. Yeah.
you know, so.
Well, I
Let's see,
should
one
thank
more.
both of you for being teachers because we need more people who are involved as you guys are. You guys are a rare breed like the nursing industry and law enforcement who is very much needed in our community. And I personally thank you and thanks for input.
Thank you,
Oh,
Chris.
yeah, that means
That's
a lot,
sweet.
Christopher.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very cool.
Teachers don't get thanked very often, and it feels good. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate it, man. You got anything else for us, Mr. Christopher?
I'll be on standby. But
Okay, awesome.
All right. Well, we appreciate the call, man. Be sure to call in. We're usually live Thursdays at 6.
Thank you, Christopher.
All right. You have a good one, man.
All right, nice.
All right. Nice caller
Absolutely.
to start
Good
off
call.
the good calls
Yep.
that are going to be coming in, you know, because we know y'all are going to call 366-8950. You know, we've had an array of topics.
Extension 2.
Extension number 2, yeah. It says it on the screen right there. Right at.
So what else does Bill have to tell me?
Oh yeah,
Are we
we were
still on that
talking
list?
about Bill Gates. Well, we had a good caller, so we had to, you know, change the pace for a little bit. But as far as wrapping up the Bill Gates 11 rules for adulthood, so far we've had life's not fair, get used to it. The world doesn't care about your self-esteem. Let's see, number 3, you won't make $60,000 out of high school. You got to earn
That's
it. Start from the bottom.
Danger.
Yep.
And a lot of these kids, I think, have the false hope that they are going to earn 60.
Nope, you're not going to the NBA or the NFL. I mean, those chances are very minute. Number 4, you think your teacher's tough? Wait till you get a boss.
That's for sure.
Yep. So ultimately, I
Your
try
boss
to.
isn't going to let you come in late and do something late, do your little job late. Not going to happen.
Surely. And in like my little career class that I teach, I try to be as much like a manager or boss, and kind of simulate that environment
used
as
to
much
it.
as I can,
Get 'em used to it.
Let's see, number 5. You're not above flipping burgers. For your grandparents, that was an opportunity.
Absolutely.
So, there
Yep.
you go. Don't have too much pride. Number 6, it's not your parents' fault. If anything, learn from them. Number 7, your parents were interesting before they started having to pay your bills. So in that regard, clean your room.
Help out.
Exactly.
Help out.
Let's see. In school, there's no winners or losers. In life, there is.
Right, absolutely. And schools are kind of going towards that, not so much in
I've heard something
Louisiana,
about how they want to
but-
like get away from the grading system. It's like, come on, like the F or a D is
So
going
what
to
do
hurt
you
your
grade
self-esteem.
on? What's the basis for no grades then? No grades.
It doesn't make any sense. To finish this list up, let's see. Life is not divided into semesters. You have to go to work every day.
Every day.
Let's see, number 10, TV is not real life. In real life, people have to leave the coffee shop and go to their jobs.
You're right. Yep.
Number 11, be nice to nerds. You never know, you might be working for one.
Yeah, that's true.
So, good
Yeah,
list.
a lot of these are kind of, they kind of all have the main theme of kids not really being in touch with reality. In school, maybe school's not doing a good job in doing that, but is
Or
it all
parents
school?
even,
Parents,
for that matter.
social media, television, everything. Kids just have a really they're just completely out of touch with the reality.
I'm glad you said that because that segues us into our first debate topic of the night.
Nice.
Limiting kids' technology. What do you think? Is it a good thing? Should we be limiting the amount of time they're on there? Should we be monitoring the sites? Because ultimately, the internet and technology is different for their generation than it is for ours.
Yeah, the internet wasn't around until I was in it wasn't. AOL didn't come out till probably I was in
when we
8th grade.
Yeah, we were
you
like
know?
teenagers,
Yeah.
So like for them, it's a part of their reality since the time they've been born.
Right.
And so, I don't know. Should we limit kids' technology is the question.
Yeah, and coming from, I'm a parent as well, and I'll be the first one to admit I'm not the best at limiting my daughter's use of technology. I tend to trust what she does, but that's also pretty silly too, because kids, anything is available to them on the internet. They can get around the parental controls. They can get around everything if they want to see it. My daughter said this to me one day, Mom, if I wanted to see that on the internet, I can see it at school. I can hear about it at school. I can see pictures on one of my friends' phones, whatever.
Right.
So is limiting technology going to help, or is just having an open communication with your child so that
There you go. Teaching internet responsibility.
Teaching them to realize that people are not who they say. For the most part, people are not who they say they are on the internet. And I mean that as far as people tend to exaggerate their personalities, or a side of them comes out that necessarily you wouldn't get person to person.
Surely.
So I don't know. Limiting technology,
Or
I think that's
misrepresenting themselves even.
yeah. I don't know if limiting technology would work. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because it's available everywhere.
Everywhere.
So
Everywhere.
I think definitely teaching more responsible use, and even teaching some of the consequences of, negative behavior on the internet, and really how, most people, like if somebody really wanted to find out what websites and like what your emails say, they could find out.
Absolutely.
You could be hacked.
Absolutely.
So everything you
Very
do on the
easily.
internet
Is permanent.
It's permanent and it leaves a fingerprint. A digital fingerprint, so to speak, and like whatever you do on there, you should be comfortable with everybody else knowing, because
Absolutely.
it could definitely become
That's
public
one
information.
Thing that's one of the things that I try to drive home the most is do not say anything or do anything or take any pictures. I drive this home with my kids too in my class.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do any of that, because it does not go away, and people can find it. People will find it.
People can definitely find it, so.
So teaching responsibility.
And plus, just, like porn is bad for you.
It is. It's again, that's a whole
But,
unrealistic view of life.
It goes back to like back in the day, like we used to have to like go steal our uncle's Playboy,
Go under
and,
the bed and take that one
hide
board
it
out.
and, like underneath like a bunch of shoes or something in the closet, and so I mean, like back in the day, it was a lot harder for us to have access to.
And
stuff
now they're
like that.
inundated with
And now
it.
it's just like boom.
Yep.
It's not a
Yep.
big deal to anybody anymore.
And so it's desensitized kids because of that as well. So I'm worried about that. Like not only are they having an unrealistic view of what life is, but also they're becoming desensitized to life. So things just don't affect them.
Sure.
Relationships will change because of that. Are they going to have solid relationships because they've seen so much porn and women and men
and
being...
nowadays, like for these kids, like they got like the cartoon, like animal kind of people type
The
stuff.
furries?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I
What
saw
is
some of that shit.
that?
I'm like, what is this? And pardon me, I just said a bad word, but it's like, come on, I don't know, but it's a different generation out there, so we need to be, thoughtful of that. Like they grew up in this. But teaching responsibility, I think, is the way to go.
Because I think, limiting it isn't really going to do the job. It's not.
So, what do you think of Katiana? 366-8950.
Any parents out there? Any kids out there who have grown up in this? Because I mean, it is a little we're at our age, we're becoming comfortable with the internet. I mean, I definitely know how to.
It's
how
a
to get
discussion
around.
we need to have as a society.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Let's see. I had a couple other headlines, so to speak. Ryan Seacrest gets millions to host American Idol's reboot. So
Wait, I thought.
Idol's coming back.
Oh,
I think
God.
Disney bought it. It's going to be on
Of
ABC
course.
now.
Wow.
Yeah, Disney bought everything. They
Disney's
bought
buying
Marvel. They
everything.
bought Star Wars. Like they own the
Jeez.
earth.
I've had
So-
just about enough of Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched American
Well,
Idol.
he hosts American Top 40, which Casey Kasem
Yeah.
used to host.
Yeah.
He's like the #1 DJ in America, pretty
Yeah.
much. You'll enjoy this one. In Texas, Best Herbs Coffee in Texas had a recall. Have you ever heard of Best Herbs Coffee? Well, we got Christopher again, but needless to say, Best Herbs Coffee had a Viagra-like ingredient in the coffee, and so it was being recalled.
Whoa.
Christopher!
Hey, Chris. Again? You there?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey.
Okay. I want to respond to this kid thing. Now, you have to remember, kids do have to succumb to peer pressure. So no matter what we do with them at home, they still have to deal with the real world. We can prepare them as much as we can, but they still have to deal with the real world.
You're right, Chris. That is a scary reality for many parents, especially parents of teenagers, where there comes a certain point in a teenager's life, and I know it happened to me, where what my friends thought was a lot more important than what my parents thought and what my parents taught me. So you're right. I mean,
But it goes
that's-
back to like teaching them to be a good, responsible person. Like if your friends are
Yeah.
online bullying somebody, you shouldn't partake in the online bullying, because you're a good, responsible person.
and having open communication with your kids.
Exactly. You should know what's going on in their life too.
Yeah.
I get that, but at the same time, if your group of friends are having fun, doing something you know is wrong, you're going to want to have fun, and there's the pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Yep. I know I succumbed to it many times when I was a teenager, so.
Yeah, everybody's posting pictures of themselves smoking weed on Instagram.
Let me do it.
Let me do it. No, don't do it.
Little girl twerking.
Yeah, oh my God.
Exactly.
Oh man, they're doing that as like young as 4 years old on the internet all over. Oh my gosh.
Well, do you think that parents should monitor the sites of that their kids are going on, or even teenage kids, because that to a certain degree, I guess, infringes upon their privacy. But
Do they? I mean,
should they have privacy?
And just like Holly said earlier, I can just do it on my friend's phone at school.
yeah.
I can do it on my friend's phone when I go visit on their computer. Because
Well,
that's
you're right.
what they're doing.
And there
So-
are websites out there that allow you to navigate around parental controls.
Right,
that
and
are
they know
set.
how to wipe their history too.
Absolutely, yeah.
So these kids are smarter than us when it comes to that stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
For instance, my nephew is 15 years old, and he's more computer savvy than I am.
Oh, that's
yeah,
how it goes,
totally.
man.
There are 4-year-olds that are more computer savvy than I am.
You know, because it wasn't even a reality for us till we were, 13, 14 years old.
I got
something
my
like
first
that.
computer when I was, I think, 14 or 15. My mom
Yeah.
bought me my first computer.
I didn't even have my first cell phone until I got to college,
Well, I
in
was high school.
2001.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry for you.
Well, thanks again, Chris.
yeah, thanks for chiming in on that. And we've got a couple of debate topics left. So, I mean, if you have any thoughts on that and you want to chime in, feel free to call back, man.
Call on back.
I got you on speed dial.
All right, that's what's up.
Yes.
That's what's up. Well, appreciate it, Chris. We'll holler at you in a little bit.
Bye, Chris.
All right.
All right.
So, how about this one? 5 places to meditate in Acadiana.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So if you're into the whole meditation, yoga vibe, you want to, find your spiritual center, here are some good places around the area that you can go check out.
Okay.
And this was a list, I think, done by Times of Acadiana, or
Oh,
maybe.
okay. Advertiser or
So-
something.
Yeah, so number 1 was Vertical Bar.
Seen and heard about this place.
And apparently,
Yeah.
you can go learn pole dancing
Yes,
there too.
yeah, mhm.
But they do have meditation,
Mhm, yoga,
with
they
the
do all that. Mm-hmm.
yoga with the bar and everything. But it's on 215
Girl.
Garfield Drive. But apparently on 2 p.m. on Sunday they do a group meditation.
Okay. That would be nice. I know meditation takes practice, so maybe doing it with a group of people.
Well, and plus
would
learning
help.
from an expert
Right.
on some different
Yeah.
techniques
Instead
that
of
you can
YouTubing
use
it.
too, rather to eliminate that noise in your mind,
Right,
because
yeah.
that definitely takes a little training and practice.
Absolutely.
Let's see. So number 2, I didn't realize they had this, but I would love to check it out. On Avery Island, they have a Buddha's Pavilion. And it's this little
Oh, I've seen
tranquil
this.
area.
Yes.
I saw pictures
Yes,
online.
yeah, mhm.
But
I've been there.
I've been to Avery Island. I must have seen it, but
Yeah.
I was way younger whenever I went. so.
Right. So they have. So they're just saying this is a place to go, or
Go
they
and
hold-
meditate and
Okay, I was thinking that maybe they hold classes there.
I mean,
for that.
the name of the article is 5 places to meditate in
Okay.
Acadiana. And actually, number 3 I thought was cheesy. Anywhere in a place
well,
of
of
comfort.
course,
You know, I mean,
Times or whoever did this, of course.
exactly. Number 4, Katog Choling Tibetan Cultural Center, which I might have butchered the name. Sorry if I did. But they do groups on Sunday and Thursday, I believe at 7 o'clock for both of them.
So that's a Buddhist
That's
thing,
the one
Tibetan
on 901
Center.
East St. Mary, kind of down toward, I don't know,
Old Time
Petroleum
Grocery.
Club, all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And see, the last one is the Yoga Garden on 2513 Johnston Street.
I know somebody that lives real
Right
close to
at,
that.
right at,
there.
lady.
Who's been that? And they do the aerial yoga.
The
there,
aerial
too.
yoga is
Yep.
what they were talking about. The
That looks
classes, like for an
cool.
introductory class, is only $20, and you get to go hang on these little what would you call
They're
them?
like little
Curtains or
yeah,
something,
scarves
and you can just
from
kind of
the ceiling.
meditate and float.
And yeah, like upside down
Do
meditation.
little backflips and
That seems fun. I would do that.
$20. Yeah, I'm down for
$20.
that. So 5 places to go and I don't know, get your meditation on here in
To
Acadia.
try to achieve higher thought.
Exactly, achieving the higher thought. How about another debate topic?
All right, let's go.
How about the dress code at work? Has it gotten laxed? Or have we become a casual society? I mean, you got people wearing shorts and t-shirts and jeans to church and stuff.
Yeah.
To restaurants. People.
I don't know. I think I like the whole casual atmosphere. I wish at school I could dress more casually. I've often said that I wish teachers could wear tennis shoes and scrubs or something because you're on your feet all day, and
But the older
I think-
generation finds it disrespectful.
Absolutely. Yeah,
you know?
disrespectful to your position and to your employer and I guess I get that, but if you have a comfortable employee, I feel like they're more productive. I would be more productive if I was comfortable, and not in heels and a tight skirt and a jacket that's all stuffy.
Well, surely. Well, and I think it's dependent on the situation, and what's appropriate for the situation.
Right.
For instance, I don't think a teacher should be wearing a low-cut shirt, as a female.
Right.
Or, something that anything that can distract from the classroom.
Do you remember a few years ago there was this really, I mean, she was really hot. She was like a 4th grade teacher in Atlanta or something, and she was posting Instagram photos, and she had like on a tight little dress, and she
It
was
happens
curvy.
all the time. It
High
happens all
heels,
the time, yeah.
4th grade, which, I mean, I wasn't a what is that, like 9 years old? I wasn't ever a 9-year-old boy, but I mean, would that have distracted you if you had a teacher in a
You
hot
dang
little tight
right.
outfit?
You dang right. Because I had some teachers like that back in the day, and it did distract me.
Did it really?
Because, like, I was thinking about, like, dang, like, you know, teacher student, and, you know, like, bump chicka wow wow, you know, and I was a 16, 17-year-old kid, you know,
Yeah.
so, I mean, what else are you going to expect?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but so yeah, definitely don't expose too much of yourself, you know, but be comfortable.
Be comfortable.
I mean, lawyers
yet,
can't wear shirts,
but there
shorts
is
and t-shirts.
appropriateness for work, and I even think for church still too. You know, I mean, like, I don't necessarily think you got to wear like a suit and tie, because like suit and ties aren't practical in Louisiana where it's 100 freaking degrees with the
Right.
humidity.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not practical. But you know, I mean, you could still dress professionally and nice as
Yeah.
opposed to just
And-
like
and
something you would wear
dressing-
chilling around the house.
Dressing professionally commands respect as well.
I agree.
You know, so you need that.
Do you think that it is sexist in any regard, companies' dress codes, and even like, you know, sports, and, you know, like, do you think that that men are treated different than women? Like, for instance, women can wear sandals at work, men can't.
Yeah, so I know there's a rule where I teach where you can't have open-toed or open-back sandals, but teachers do it all the time. And you're also not supposed to wear sneakers on a daily basis, but they do it all the time.
Or
So, I mean,
shorts.
or
For
shorts.
guys, but for women, they can wear something like a short skirt almost, you know, or a skirt.
I don't think it's. I mean, I don't think it's sexist necessarily.
And those are just a couple examples.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's ways that it's sexist towards women
I think
as well.
that
you know?
being a woman who is well endowed on the top region of my body,
Dolly
I
Parton.
think that it is. I think that I went like this whenever I said that.
Sufferers.
So I think that it's difficult to without. I don't wear revealing tops to teach in, okay? But I also don't want to wear a muumuu, because pretty much any
Right.
top that I wear, you
your
can see that I
anatomy
got
is your
gigantic.
anatomy, and that might be
hoo-ha's.
distracting, but you can't do anything
I
about
can't do
that.
anything about
You
it.
can't
So
do
I
anything
mean,
about it.
so to you know, I never would wear like a low cut shirt. I would always wear a little cami
Mm-hmm.
or something. But I mean, that. I mean, girls just can't help that. you
What
know?
about if, say, I don't know, somebody wanted to wear saggy pants and like let their pants sag, and that's part of their culture and their dress. But you know, is that appropriate for work?
No, absolutely not. Not
So
depending,
there's
like you said,
lines and
depending
there's-
on
yeah.
your position, but also I'm talking about physical features that you can't change versus
Like showing your
wanting
underwear
to,
is still inappropriate.
Absolutely.
You know, like in any public setting.
Sure, yeah, especially a professional setting, especially.
Well, I'd say that's, you know, we covered that one pretty
Yeah,
good.
we did.
So we got about 13 minutes left of the show here. I guess let's get one more debate topic in. Smoking in bars, is that discrimination against smokers?
Yeah, we tapped in on this one a little bit last week, didn't we?
Well, and, you know, could there be a way that we could be separate but equal?
Oh.
And here we go. We've got Christopher. He's probably going to chime in on dress codes at work.
Hey, Chris.
Okay. Thing. About the sagging pants thing, okay? I think it should be like it was living in Raleigh, North Carolina. You get a citation, it's a misdemeanor. You get another citation, it's a misdemeanor. The third one, it turns into a felony.
I'll tell you what, Chris, the sheriff of Opelousas last year, he was the newly elected sheriff, and he tried to pass a city ordinance, I guess it would be, to fine guys who walked around with their butts hanging out of, you know, their pants down to their thighs.
Letting us
Didn't
sag,
pass, you know. I don't know if it should necessarily be a fine, especially if it's the way you want to dress when
Public
you go
indecency.
outside.
It's public indecency.
Is
It's a
it
ticket,
really
yeah.
though? I mean, is it though?
You can't walk around in your underwear.
But I can walk around in some short
Some coochie cutters, as they call them.
I
Yeah.
could do that if I wanted to. So I don't know. I mean,
I think the line of obscenity should be drawn, across the board for men and women, because there are these, and no offense to the LGBT, but there are some gay women that act like men as well. So gender has nothing to do with it. Across the board, obscenity should be defined as what it is. And with 2 misdemeanors, 3 misdemeanors is a felony. So,
yeah, but I mean, honestly though, like a felony for dressing
Right.
a different way, like that's extreme.
People used to say that you couldn't grow your hair long back in the 70s because that was offensive, So, I mean, it's just like different generations have different ways of revolting against the system and being individuals. We have to take that into consideration. And really, is it really a crime, I guess, for somebody to dress a different kind of way?
I've even shared the story of the sagging pants to my nephews, derived from prison. It lets, the guys know that
Right.
the gay guys
Yeah.
and all that.
It's basically an invitation for the second time we're bringing it up in the show, the booty hole.
Yeah, see, I knew it. I knew it.
We did. Yeah.
I've heard that before. That's where it's derived from. Is you sagging your pants in prison, then you better watch out. Or it's an invitation.
This is my point. I just think that the city of Lafayette, in particular, I live here, should be and tickets for sagging pants. Period. I don't see it wrong.
Well, I think that how some private establishments in Lafayette will have a little posting on their front door that says no shoes, no shirt, no service.
Saggy pants.
Add
even
no
have
saggy
that on
pants to
there. They
that.
have that on a lot of
So
them.
some of them do. So I mean, I think as far as walking around the street, if your genitalia is hanging out, that's a problem.
Hey, they have the right to
But
refuse service to anybody.
If you're, I don't know. I mean, I have a hard time finding people for the way that they feel like that they should express themselves. But individually, as a private person, if I don't want to allow that person in my establishment, then that's another story.
It's just not a very classy thing to do.
It's not. I mean, I
You know,
totally
we as a
agree. It's
society
horrible.
need to have a little more class.
It's horrible.
My question to you is, are you okay with it? Because it sounds like you're making a justification for people to wear saggy pants.
Okay. Am I okay with the saggy pants?
I do devil's advocate. Yeah. I mean, not necessarily with the saggy pants.
Okay, as long as genitalia is not showing, it's okay. I mean, that's what I'm getting from you.
Well,
I'm just arguing their side. I don't necessarily agree with them, but I'm arguing their side
well,
to defend
yeah.
them,
I mean,
those
look,
types of people
when I
that
see,
like to wear saggy
when I
pants.
see saggy pants, I don't like it. I think it looks dumb. I personally,
Me too.
I'm confounded as to how they're actually keeping the pants up.
But that doesn't mean that they don't deserve their rights.
Exactly, their little freedom of expression. And now. I don't know. I mean,
It's a
just
fine
such
line.
It
We
is.
need to have that
It is.
discussion as a society, and we're doing that right now. We're working for the greater good.
Yeah.
But it's not right to walk around obscene. I'm sorry, sir. There's no way you can make that okay.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I don't think it's right either. However, I'm just arguing their side. I mean, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here in this debate.
Yeah. I just because I think that we shouldn't limit it doesn't mean that I think that it looks
It's
good.
a fine line.
Because
it's a fine
it
line
doesn't
that
look good.
we as a society need to discuss what's appropriate and what's not.
Yeah.
A fine point you made earlier with regards to the women with the coochie cutters and the booty shorts
Yep.
and the low blouses and all of that.
I can.
Nobody wants to
Who
see
wears
that,
short shorts?
Some people do want to see that, Chris. But I mean, it's the same. To me, it's the same thing. If a guy is walking down the street sagging his pants, showing his underwear, to me that's the same thing as seeing a girl's butt cheeks hanging out of her shorts. You know, that's the same thing. But there are no city ordinances probably anywhere where that is,
Right.
illegal or is cause for a fine.
Another point I was going to make. You know, I mean, the gender separation with regards to how society looks at men and women is it's not fair. Because women get away with way more than guys can.
Well,
Absolutely.
everything is
I agree with that.
sexualized in the media, and, you know, I mean, ultimately, women move up by degrading themselves to a certain degree. Like, as far as well, not degrading themselves, but sexiness is empowering, I suppose, to a certain degree.
It's noticed more.
Well, you can use it as a tool to a certain degree.
What'd you say, Chris?
It's in our schools, it's in the magazines, it's on TV, sex sales, you know.
Right, like how the swimsuit issue is the #1 selling Sports Illustrated issue of the year, you know? I mean, like, sex sells.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's definitely a double standard there.
With the volleyball players this year, I mean, with the hockey players this year, I mean, like, they got them to go all nude. Like, that's a thing now, you know? I mean, sex sells in every aspect of our society. But it's what we've become. No matter what we do at home, all those men and women had parents, and they all were children, and they all were taught a different thing and went a different way. So that goes back to our earlier debate. You know, we can teach them what we want to teach them, but at the end of the day, they decide for themselves.
Well, right, and that's, I feel like that people should be able to, people should have individual freedom. That's what America is about, right? And by making little things like, oh, you can't dress like that walking down the street of my city, making things like that illegal or cause for a fine, and then could ultimately lead up to a felony that pretty much ruins your whole life, takes away personal freedom.
That's absurd, yeah.
But I mean, as far as the whole sexist thing that women get away with more in society as far as dress and sex and all that, yeah. Oh, okay.
So, Chris, we appreciate the call, man, but we're gonna have to wrap up the call. We've only got a couple minutes left of the show, so we're gonna try and finish it up. But we do appreciate your calls and chiming in on
Next week,
different
Chris,
topics.
it was awesome.
You were almost
Thank
like a third
you.
co-host
Yeah.
tonight. You know, so
Maybe you should come on the show.
Hey, feel free to come down to the Rosa Parks Center anytime. Come on with us.
Next week, buddy.
Woohoo!
Well, we appreciate it, Christopher. You have a good one, man.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, so yeah, as I
My
just
other
said,
Chris.
we have a few minutes left of the show. We're wrapping things up. We did a good job, hopefully.
We did a good job, I
Hopefully we
think.
did a good job. I've got a couple more topics. I can run through the topics.
do
and
it.
Which one do you
Let's
want
do
to
the
talk
lightning
about?
round.
Okay, we've got, let's see, pass that one up. 6 Rules of Love by Buddha. Characteristics of toxic people. Let's see, ways to trick the brain to create oxytocin, which is the love chemical.
Do the toxic people one.
Okay, characteristics of toxic people. They take no responsibility.
Okay.
Okay, they're always blaming other people. They're manipulative. They
yeah,
never
well.
apologize. They tend to be judgmental. They make you defend yourself. They never support you, and they are inconsistent. This was a little list I read of toxic people.
Those little energy draining people that we talked about last week.
Yeah, so take no responsibility, manipulative, never apologize, judgmental, make you defend yourself, never support you, and inconsistent.
Yep.
How about 6 Rules of Love by Buddha?
All right.
If you truly love yourself, you will never hurt another, because we're all connected.
I completely agree with that. I do. Because I think that everything that we do reflects back on how we feel about ourselves.
I agree with that as well. Peace comes from within, not from without. Once
Same
we're
thing.
done fulfilling ourselves, we can offer ourselves to others.
Same
love
thing,
the-
like three
Yeah.
times in a row, saying it different ways. Okay.
Love the world as a mother loves his only child. You know, so just like spread the
Aw,
love,
I
you know,
like
and take
that
care of the
one.
earth.
Love is the earth's only child.
Yeah, choose your words wisely. They influence people for better or for worse.
Yes,
Hate does not defeat hate. Hatred only ceases through love.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yep.
and finally, number 6, happiness never comes to those who don't appreciate what they already have. So good list. Good list.
Very good list. You go, Buddha.
We're doing the lightning round here, right?
Yeah, lightning round.
Let's see, ways to create the love chemical oxytocin in your brain. So this will just be a quick, fast list. Connect with your friends. Call your loved ones. Earphones in, noise out. Long, deep breaths. Time alone. Try something new. Hug someone. Dark chocolate. A massage. Vitamin B. Get some sun.
What kind of dark
Exercise. Magnesium. Meditate. Dance. Swim. Bathe.
Epsom salt.
Hike in nature, comedy, play, talk to strangers, good social media photo, you'll get a lot of likes. Snuggle with your pet, that's a modern
Why is that
one.
on there?
Romantic dinner with your partner, play instrument, do something you love that you always postpone. And they even had cry as one of those. So those will all create oxytocin in your brain, which is the love chemical.
The love chemical.
So,
Okay.
Good show!
Very good show.
We made
Number
it.
2 for
Which,
me.
by the way, compliments on this tasty
Cheers.
beverage.
Yeah, I made both of these.
Salud.
Oh. This is the house beverage of.
So, Katie Anna, we love you. We appreciate you watching. For Nade and Holly,
Holly.
it's
nickname
another
to be
great
announced.
episode. 5 seconds left. Mwah.